Hi everybody, Deborah Prinzing here with a little introduction to episode 670, a visit to Primrose Lane Farm, an Alberta, Canada based flower farm, and our conversation with flower farmer Kristen Primrose. What is it like to grow cut flowers in zones 2 to 4 for only 3 to 4 months each year and run a successful small-scale flower farm with those constraints? Kristen Primrose does just that, and I'm so excited to share our conversation and a video tour of her Southern Alberta-flower farm. I know you've heard me talk about the 2024 Slow Flower Summit held last week, June 23rd to 25th in Banff, Alberta, Canada. I'm recording this episode just days after returning home from the Canadian Rockies, the gorgeous natural mountain setting where nearly 100 of us gathered to inquire and include, be informed, be inspired, and we hope instigate new ideas, projects, and approaches to our floral enterprises. Well, on my 700 plus mile drive home to Seattle, I took the somewhat out of the way and incredibly scenic route to Southwest Alberta, where I visited Primrose Lane Farm in Mountain View outside of Cardston, Alberta. And I recorded an interview with Kristen Primrose, its resident flower farmer. I'm so grateful to Kristen for her support. She was one of the very first Alberta floral professionals to join Slow Flower Society as a member. Not only that, but Kristen brought a few buckets of blooms with her to the summit in Banff, wowing the instructors and audience alike with her just picked peonies and other flowers. Thank you, Kristen. I know you'll love this conversation. It was very windy that day, and we tried to knock back the audio a bit, but that's the deal with recording outdoors on a flower farm. Kristen is an inspiration, and I'm so grateful for the in-person visit. Let's jump right in and get started.
Yeah, so I'm Kristen Primrose. We've been here since 2017, which is kind of when this garden got started. Every year it started with a little bit of flowers and got flowers take up the whole thing now. So yeah, we living here in the Southwest Alberta. It's a little bit of a struggle to get things to grow. As you see, like it's cold and windy today.
We do a little sweep.
Yeah.
Is that the Rocky? No.
Yeah, this is the Rocky Mountains.
Wow.
And so the mountains on this side are Montana. We're that close to Montana. And Waterton Lakes National Park.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, so things are a little slower here than at most places. So yeah, I'll just kind of give you a little tour. And I've been gone the last couple weeks, so it's a mess.
Yes, you've been up and
it's
you've been at the
stuff.
Slow Flower
Yeah.
Summit. So, but for being a mess, it looks pretty tidy.
Yeah, so this section here is mostly, this will be all the drying stuff like statice and straw flower, paper flower, a little bit of Nicotiana in there as well.
Wow. So do you start this by seed indoors and then transplant it?
Yeah, so we started indoors. I usually start like Christmas is my eucalyptus, those kind of things. And then once my basement gets too full, we have a greenhouse just down off the side of the barn that we move stuff into. We usually try not to do that too early, usually by March, just because it's still so cold here and the cost of heating adds up. So we try to not fire it up until we have to.
So in the house, you can just use the ambient heat from your house.
Yeah.
And then for a little, like maybe 2 months, you'll have
Yeah,
to
it's
heat.
usually about 1.5 to 2 months that we actually have to heat it.
Wow.
So.
What is this general? This is your first garden. So what is this general area?
So this is just under a 1/4 acre.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Growing
Wow.
space, so.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
for being gone, it looks like things kind of took care
Yeah,
of
they
themselves.
kind of took care of themselves pretty well. Yeah, we have drip line in, which we don't have irrigation here. It's all well water.
Oh, wow.
So we do try to conserve water as much as we can, and so timers and drip line and all that really helps us.
So does it get pumped up from the well?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Wow.
it's yeah. So then in here, these are my dahlias. We actually had snow week and a half ago. We had snow here.
I saw your Instagram. Yeah.
So it was wild to wake up to. So they actually look pretty good for just being snowed on. There's a little bits of damage, but
Did they break? Or
no,
was it just,
they didn't seem to. Yeah, some got a little bent, but
Mhm.
a little bit of frostbite on the tips. But for the most part, they seem happy. So.
Wow. So these rows here.
These 2 rows, will be dahlias. I struggle to, I don't do a lot of dahlias just because of my season. Like, we usually have snow here beginning of September, so it's kind of just when dahlias get going. So I can't not grow them, but I don't grow as many as I did the first couple years, hoping for better crops.
So you'll have some, but and probably you'll use every stem you grow, but you're not trying to specialize.
No, and we don't do roots and stuff like that with the dahlias.
Wow.
It's just,
well, it's good.
Yeah.
But it's weird. It's like that's the end of your season.
Yeah, yeah, it's such a short season here. So, then up here, we have, this is the foxgloves. I love foxgloves.
And they like it here probably.
And I have never seen a foxglove before I grew them. People don't grow them here. They're not, I've been able to get them to perennialize a bit. I can control snow drifts with this wind fence here to create a drift to help insulate and protect it. Trick them into thinking they're in a warmer zone over winter. Yeah, you see some.
Oh my goodness,
yeah,
and your lupin are beautiful.
Yeah.
So when you say snowdrift, I was thinking originally like that, just that fencing would keep snow from piling on top of the beds. That's not what you're talking about.
Yeah, so it makes snow. The wind comes from the west, so everything on this side of the snow fence will create a drift.
And then that becomes your insulation.
Yeah, and that becomes my insulation. So in the winter, this whole garden's covered by a drift all the way to the driveway.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then that is more protective than if there's ice.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as we, I don't know if you noticed in one of the talks at the summit, she talked about the Chinooks we get here.
Yes.
So yeah, it can vary. It can be minus 40 Celsius one day, and a week later plus 20. And so that's a very big swing.
Yes.
So the snow, it does melt a little bit, but it also helps just to, the plants underneath it don't get that thaw freeze cycle as hard.
So smart. Yeah, because it's so tall.
Yeah.
Even if it melts a little bit.
Even if it melts a bit.
Wow.
Yeah,
I think Latifah talked about that.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, that's the one that was.
Wow.
See
And then you snaps here?
Snapdragons
Look
here.
how sweet they are. Oh my goodness. So have you started selling flowers? Your peonies are doing great. You brought some to the summit. So these aren't ready yet, but maybe in like a month?
There's a handful that, see up here, some just started blooming. Okay. So I'll have a handful. I have a wedding next week, just a DIY bucket wedding. Yeah. So they'll be perfect for that. And then in the next couple weeks, hopefully the rest, if we get some heat, the rest should pop up.
Oh, wow. It's great. So the peonies look really well established.
Yeah, the peonies, And then these arches we plant sweet peas.
Oh, I see. I wondered about that.
To grow up the arches.
And it's a nice way to organize the farm.
Yeah. Just have a little interest.
Yeah, kind of a center aisle.
Yeah. So then up here we get into a little more perennial stuff.
Yarrow.
Yarrows. It's about starting globe thistle and delphiniums on the end there.
Oh, they look happy. Wow, everything looks super healthy.
Yeah,
like no diseases.
So well.
You've got some marigolds going in there?
Yeah, marigolds and then zinnias. Yeah, I kind of use marigolds for pests sprinkled in and out. But the zinnias, again, they're one that just, I can't grow well here. It's just too cold.
They just want to bake.
Yeah, they've got some coming, but...
Do you sell them to for people who want edible flowers, or do you just...
a little bit. I do, so when I do my garden parties, I do garden parties here, which is kind of like a fancy you-pick. We do cookies with edible flowers baked into them. Yeah. Oh, so we'll use, that for some of that stuff.
Okay, let's see the rest. I have lots of questions for you, especially we'll go back to the garden parties in a bit and hear what that's all about. So more
snapdragons. They're just one that does so well here, so I grow the most of them.
They're definitely a cool annual, right? But your delphinium. Oh my goodness, they're stunning. What is this variety? Do you remember off the top of your head?
White bee something.
Wow. Yeah. With that dark center.
Yeah, with the black center. So pretty.
And then the foxglove is white. Do you tend to have to grow or choose to grow white because you are supplying a lot of weddings?
That is one factor for sure. Yeah, a lot of my other foxgloves are the coral or pinks as well.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Because we love those colors.
Those weddings,
too.
yeah. So then, up in here, some more perennials. Columbines are done. Lupins are doing really well.
Lupins too. Yeah, let's go look at those. Are these, do you grow them from seed or do you get plugs?
From seed, yeah. I do everything from seed.
These are just stunning. Oh my goodness.
This is just a weird.
I want you to stand right there by them and be in your portrait.
Yeah, so they're doing really well this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, these purple and white ones are really, really pretty. Different, but.
Yeah, but you have just the solid white and then the sort of more fuchsia color.
Yeah.
And then how many peonies do you have here, Kristen?
So in this section, there are 150-ish, give or take.
Wow, and when did you plant them?
So these are going on, I'm trying to think, year 5. So yeah, this is the last couple years I've been able to harvest off of these ones quite a bit.
They sure look healthy.
Yeah.
The foliage is pristine. Oh, love it.
I've already done a swipe this morning. I see a few more opening I need to get out.
Well, show me what stage you would want to harvest them.
So, let's see. That one's getting, maybe this afternoon. It's not quite as soft as I would like.
And how far down are you cutting on the stem?
I usually cut down 12 to 18 inches, about 16 inches. Okay. Yeah.
And then if there's side buds, do you remove them or?
I typically don't. I like the added interest it gives to a bouquet, even if they don't bloom. Just that added interest in a bouquet, I like. Right. So I usually leave mine.
They're not like going, but like a spray rose where the extra side buds will open.
Yeah, these ones typically won't once they're cut. Yeah.
Do you want to walk over to the other field? Okay, I'm gonna turn.
Let me do it this way, actually, so they don't sneak past me. So they don't get out behind me here.
So they don't come over to me.
Yeah.
They'll just stay within that twine even.
Yeah, they'll just go down here and eat.
Tell me about these horses. The 5 are the ones that you have? Or?
Yeah, these are ours. I don't ride.
Your kids?
But my son actually does a lot with riding. He trains horses. He's 17, but he trains horses. He actually trains mules as well. He just won this last summer the Missouri Mule Makeover Challenge. We went down to Missouri and he competed against other youth trainers and actually won the competition.
Good for him. I heard he was a cowboy.
Yeah.
They're beautiful animals.
They'll make their way out to eat the grass.
What's that?
But they'll make their way out to eat the grass down there.
They're just are they a little confused? Like, what is she doing?
Yeah.
There we go. Is there a specific type of breed or that they are?
These ones are all quarter horses, American quarter horse, yeah.
And they could just graze down there or?
Yeah, we've been putting them out on fresh grass. So my son just made a new patch last night, so they don't quite know the way down to it yet. So
okay.
Yeah.
That's great. I mean, great for your kids' childhood.
Yeah.
Right?
So I'll let
Thank you for doing this.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't really think to displace the.
No, they needed to go out anyway. So yeah, we still have plans. They're not quite ready to harvest this year. Next year we'll be able to harvest off them. I have taken a few blooms and then I've let them go to bloom just to document and photograph and get it all ready for next year.
And strengthen up your rootstock.
Yeah. So we'll redo all this fence. Like it's in the middle of the horse pasture. So
Did the horses used to go up
yeah,
there?
this used to all be horse pasture.
You're like,
yeah.
that is fertile soil,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
And they certainly are not being deprived.
No, they
of-
still have lots of space.
Yeah.
So
Oh my goodness, how much acreage do you have altogether?
we have 130.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I
So-
think there's enough for them.
Yeah, there's lots. Yeah. I can steal a few more if I need. But yeah, we'll redo all this probably this fall. This same fence kind of all the way around.
The board fence.
Yeah, and put a better gate in and stuff so
And
we
it's
can
just
access it.
when you have events, then you'll bring your party guests here.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
good.
So hopefully next year also we'll start a peony U-pick as well. So I'm super excited for that one.
Oh, Kristen, that's so exciting. Like, you have to be very creative to come up with ways to get your flowers into people's hands then.
Yeah, it takes a lot more planning and thought process just because I am so isolated out here. Make it more of an event and experience
Yes,
for people.
the destination. Thank you. I could see these from the road. They're gorgeous.
So these were my tulip beds. I still have to get them cleaned up. So we do the no dig, build the box, put the tulips in, and then come with the tractor and just dump the compost right on top. So there's no trenching, there's no digging.
Oh my goodness! And just this row is all
Yeah,
beds.
there's I think 7 or 8 beds. Yeah.
So that's kind of a nice low maintenance crop.
Yeah,
to
it
get
is. Yeah,
started.
we kind of this is the second year we've done it this way rather than trenching. Then we'll
Great.
come with the tractor and just scoop it up and add it back into the compost and do the same thing in the fall.
You'll
So-
scoop into the beds?
Yeah, we'll lift the beds
Oh,
and then just come with the tractor and clean up all the compost and bulb debris, and then it'll go back into the compost. And then, in the
rinse
fall
and
we'll do it
repeat.
again. Yeah, so it's become a super easy and
so not even a lot of weeding required
no.
because you just
So,
clean
yeah.
up the area.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! And so roughly how many tulips are you able to cut from here?
This year we did, it was probably about 8,000 this
Oh my
year.
gosh.
Yeah, in these beds because you can grow them quite condensed.
Yes.
So
yes.
yeah, you can get a lot and not a lot of space.
Well, this is also, these peonies are, I don't know, this seems like the appropriate spacing. They're not extra close.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, not super close, but we wanted them close enough that once they would rely on each other for hold each other up in the wind.
So you're not
too.
having to stake them
Yeah.
or trellis them.
Yeah.
Where are you getting most of your peonies?
So a lot of these came from Unicorn Blooms.
Okay.
It's a good Canadian wholesaler. We love having her.
Because she's able to import into Canada.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's our trick up here. There's not a lot of companies. We can't order, especially wholesales.
Yeah.
Amounts from the States is easy. So to have Unicorn Blooms it's so amazing.
That's wonderful.
She brings in beautiful stuff.
It looks great.
So yeah, in this section, there's 10 rows.
Okay.
You can kind of walk down.
Yeah, I'll walk with you.
10 rows and I believe 72 peonies in each row. So yeah, about 720 peonies.
Plus how many on the other side?
Plus 150-ish on
Okay.
that side. So
Wow.
just
So-
under 1,000, yeah.
Wow, that's great.
I already have plans for expansion, but
Yeah,
we'll
well-
give it a year or two to see how these get
You
going.
have plans to plant more?
Yeah, I would like to plant more because in here I have probably 40 different varieties instead of focusing on a large quantity of one variety, which has its pros and cons, I think. But I would like to do a couple patches of just Sarah and just a Duchess and, a few core.
So you have quantities for some events.
Yeah, more
Great.
quantity than.
Lovely. I think we have to go look at the lemon chiffon
Yeah,
that everyone
yeah.
was going gaga over at the Slowflower Summit. Did you cut your precious stock for us?
No, I have a couple in
good.
that garden. Yeah, I didn't cut these ones.
I don't want to be responsible for depleting
No.
your peony help. Oh, everyone was so happy with these.
Yeah, they're so pretty and huge.
Yeah.
They're so big.
Yeah. So you've been documenting them for like your website and stuff.
Yeah. I have a photographer coming out next week. We'll do a peony shoot.
Oh my goodness, that's so great.
So I've been saving some
Lovely.
in the cooler too.
Well, thanks for
So,
showing us this. Let's go
yeah.
inside and talk a
Yeah.
little bit more.
Perfect.
Maybe should we peek inside your greenhouse?
Yeah, we can do a quick peek in there.
Turn this
I've
off.
seen one in real life, but it's opening.
So last year you just got very little
production.
bud production.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be
She's so pretty.
so pretty.
That's one of my most excited for that one.
Yeah, you can't. If you have 5 children, you can't say how many children. Who's your favorite? But if you have 4
with flowers, yeah, my favorites to be there. Yeah. So come on in. This is our greenhouse here.
Great space.
Yeah. So we had to build it just with the wind here. We have really high winds, and the house isn't feasible for us. So we had to have it attached securely and strong to withhold our winds. So yeah, we did a lean-to off of the barn.
It's a nice space.
Yeah. As soon as we built it, I'm like, it's too small. It's not big enough, but it works. So yeah, once our seedlings are big enough, and once it's time to move stuff in here, we built actually another shelf here, another layer, so we can fit twice as many seedlings.
Oh my God, they're just soaking up the sun here.
Yeah, and so we also, that's another thing we did, we spray painted this black to help absorb and keep things warmer at night here, so our heater doesn't have to run quite as hard to keep things warm here in Canada.
When you run the heater, is it propane or is it gas?
This one is electric.
Electric, okay.
Which isn't ideal. We've talked about if future plans actually doing a used oil heater.
Like a biodiesel?
Yeah.
Great.
Like
I love the
that.
boxes with the corrugated kind of theme here.
Yeah.
So you also have some vegetables is it for your own family?
Yeah, just for us.
Yeah.
We like to make salsa and sauces and stuff like that. So, so right now we have mostly tomatoes and peppers in here.
So you even can set up drip tape in here.
Drip tape in here. So yeah, everything's automated. So I don't have to worry about it. Which takes the whole thing off your plate. So.
And then you have just in the center, just other starts and whatnot.
Yeah, other things that I just haven't quite got planted out yet, or extras, or things like that. So.
Well, while we're in here and it's a little less windy, I'd love to just talk about how you got your business started. This family farm it's not a flower farm, right?
No.
How did the agriculture part of the family start?
So I grew up kind of on an acreage. My grandpas both farmed. One farmed across Saskatchewan. One was a dairy farmer locally here. My dad had cows. Like, we were always around agriculture. My brother's rodeo, like all that Canadian cowboy stuff.
Canadian cowboys in Alberta.
Yeah.
Okay. How far from here did you grow up?
About 15 minutes, just outside of Cardston.
Oh my goodness.
So then my husband grew up 15 minutes that way, just in a little village, and so we spent some time in the city while he was in school, but always wanted to get back.
The city being Calgary?
Lethbridge.
Oh, Lethbridge.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we spent some time there, and then we moved back out to this area. In 2011, we were at a smaller acreage, but it was only 5 acres. It didn't have enough. We wanted cows and horses, and you can't fit very much on 5 acres. So we actually found this property and moved here in 2017.
Is this town, did you say Mountain
View?
View, okay.
Yeah, just
so
outside
it's,
of Waterton.
yeah, I mean, it's crazy how close you are to the Canadian-US border.
Yeah, it's minutes, yeah.
Oh, so 2017, that's okay. So you've done a lot in 7-8 years.
Yeah, sometimes it's like, you think it's like, we haven't got that much done. There's still so much to do. But then when you look back, you're like, holy cow. What we've accomplished.
And you built this
amazing.
barn.
Yeah.
Did you build your house too?
We didn't build the house, but we've been renovating it.
Yeah. You're making it work for your semi-large family.
We bought this property for the land, not necessarily the house. So we've been making it work.
I've heard that people do that.
Yeah, it happens.
And is your farm called Primrose Lane Farm?
Yeah.
No, not Flower Farm.
No, just farm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Primrose Lane is a derivative of your last name.
Yeah, most people don't know that.
I love that. It's like how did you were born to it?
Yeah, exactly.
And the other stuff that your husband does, is it Is it mostly cattle? And
Yeah, we run Highland cattle. He does a little bit of hay crops, horses, but he actually works off farm as well. He's an electrician at a gas plant,
Okay.
a local gas plant. So he does work off farm.
which is common,
Yeah,
right?
you kind of have to.
Yeah.
So-
Because you can't farm year round.
No, yeah, about 3 months if we're lucky. So it's definitely, you have to have other sources of income.
When did you start growing cut flowers, or kind of go from
So-
being the avid gardener to someone with a
Yeah.
business?
So for me, it started actually a little earlier in 2015, when we were still at our other property. I was super pregnant, like June, super pregnant with my youngest, and I didn't get my regular vegetable garden all planted, so I was like, oh, I'll just throw out these black sunflower seeds and see what happens. And so they grew amazingly and beautiful, and it just like kind of sparked something, like what if, you know, like I've never seen it before. Floret was just kind of barely trickling into the world at that point. And so I would make weekly bouquets of black oil sunflower seeds, sell them at the farmer's market.
Just the flowers from that seed?
Yeah,
Just
from,
sunflower
yeah,
bouquets?
just from the chicken feed seed.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. So I would throw in a few like ditch flowers, I call them, forage things with it as well. And then I would take them to my mom. My mom was sick at the time. So I would take her weekly. And I mean, black oil sunflower seeds, they drop a lot of pollen. They're not ideal whatsoever for cut flowers, but that's
what
you
else?
learn.
What else were people seeing?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Yeah.
And so I would take them weekly to my mom throughout that summer. So that Christmas 2015, my mom passed away. She had autoimmune disease in her lungs.
Oh dear.
So the following years, every year, it's kind of become the way I process my grief. I still take my mom bouquets to the cemetery now.
That's beautiful.
So it's just, that way to connect with her, to connect with the soil and the earth and all the healing properties that come with that, and have a little bit of quiet time in my garden away from my family when I need it. And
But she's present with you.
yeah, I believe so.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So in a way, she inspired you to become a flower farmer.
Yes, yeah, she really has, and you know, like I think about that a lot, and I think a lot about like I think she would be involved with this as well. Like she loved to garden her land, like she did all her own landscaping, beautiful. So she would be very involved with it too.
We have to mention her name then.
Laura Bevins. Yeah,
okay, to Laura.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I wish I had met her.
Yeah, amazing.
And so you maybe at that point this following year wanted to grow more and thought you better diversify from just simple sunflowers.
Yeah, and like learn more about what we can even grow here, different varieties, like what makes a bouquet. You can't just have a big, I mean you can.
Right.
But, you know, to expand that knowledge and learning all the pieces and all the different fillers and spikes and to make a real well-rounded bouquet. So that's been a learning curve for sure, because our cold climate, there's like not a lot of information out there. So I dove into Floret, read all her stuff, all her books, like anything I could get my hands on. But you still have to like translate it into
So
zone.
What zone are you?
So because of the Chinooks we get, we actually fluctuate every year. So I plan for a 2 and hope for a 4.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was going to say 4 to 6.
Yeah, no, 2 to 4.
Wow. Okay. And that puts into context what we talked about with the tulips. That's your first crop.
Yeah.
Are you planting the bulbs in the fall?
Yeah, we still plant them in the fall.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're harvesting a little later than maybe I would in Seattle.
Yeah, so I rarely have tulips Mother's Day. It's usually the end of May.
Okay.
That I have tulips.
Oh, so you've just had like the last month of tulips.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just finished
Tulips
those up.
and daffodils.
Yeah.
Now you're going into all the annuals, the cool annuals that we saw in some of the perennials and the peonies. So you told me that the closest town, Cardston, is a population 3,500.
Yeah, 3,500.
Mountain View is population what?
200.
Oh.
Yeah, 300 maybe.
I'm so excited to hear how people are responding to your flowers, because where else are they getting local flowers?
Yeah.
Nowhere,
They're not,
right?
Yeah.
So how did you start selling after that first summer?
I did a few markets for the first few years. I don't love markets.
Yeah.
It's not my thing.
Were you having to drive quite a ways?
Yeah, so I'd have to drive an hour, give or take, depending on which market. A lot of packing up. And then the markets I would go to were still small town markets, like 3,500 people. And so they weren't awesome. So I mostly do now subscriptions. It's my main source of income for the farm. So I do 2 places. I do Cardston once a week, and I do the city Lethbridge for once a week.
And the subscriptions are mixed bouquets?
Yeah, mixed bouquets. In the spring I do just tulips. I don't do mixed stuff with the tulips just because we don't have it producing here yet.
Yeah, but people
don't
know.
They don't know, and they love it, and it's perfect. So yeah, mixed bouquets, just a basic hand-tied.
How do you package them?
I just do basic, like sustainability is big for us, so I don't do plastic, I don't do stickers, I have a stamp. So it's just craft paper and a jute string twine tie. So it's basic, it's simple, and yeah.
When people sign up for the subscriptions, what are their choices that you offer them?
So for our subscriptions, it's just a one size, but I offer a 4-week spring. This year's our first year doing a Peony subscription.
Have you already been marketing that?
Yeah, marketing. I start tomorrow.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, I'll be headed to the city tomorrow.
Is that why you were out harvesting this morning?
Yeah, getting ready for that.
So what are they getting? Like a 5-stem bouquet?
Yeah, 5-stem bouquet. I do have a premium one that offers a 15-stem bouquet. So I didn't sell as many of those this year, but I did sell some.
Well, once people start seeing them.
Yeah, once they start seeing them, it will, yeah.
So do you think you can do peonies for 4 weeks?
I marketed it as a 3-week subscription for the peonies, just because that 4th week I wasn't with storage and all that positive they would be quality.
But in future years.
Yeah, but in future, I would for sure.
Because you could cold store.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. And so you've got the tulip subscription.
Yeah, the peony, and so then I have a summer one as well, an 8-week summer.
Which is all where you mix, you do more of a design.
Those things. And so you can purchase the whole season as well.
Wow.
Or just, kind of those separate seasons.
So you're literally rolling from tulips into peonies into mixed summer bouquets.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah. So our biggest one is the 12 weeks. So the 4 weeks of spring and then the 8 weeks of summer.
Okay.
So,
the peonies are kind of a bonus on there.
Yeah, the peonies are in between there,
Do you find that is just, it just must be more economical for you than going to a farmer's market. They're purchased before you're cutting them.
Yeah.
And you're doing deliveries to a central drop-off, so you're not going to doorsteps?
Yeah, in town in Cardston I do because it's small. I deliver to the door, but in the city, the first couple of years I did deliver to doorsteps through COVID and whatnot. But my kids were like, no, don't do that.
Are you hoping to train a few of them to do deliveries?
I'm hoping, my oldest sometimes will run around for me if I'm busy that day. But.
So that's your retail off-farm. And now tell me about what you're doing with your parties.
So we offer, I call them garden parties. It's just a fancy you pick. People come out in the evening. I do a full garden tour, kind of talk about why we grow, how we grow, all those things. Then I offer drinks and snacks. We usually do homemade cookies with flowers from the garden baked into them.
The zinnias you were talking about, yeah.
So we do those, and then we've also done a lavender one as well, a lemon lavender one. That one was a big hit.
Are you growing lavender here?
We grow Munstead.
Okay.
So it's it's the most hardy.
Cold hardy, okay.
Yeah. So, and then after that, the people, they get to wander the garden and cut their own bouquet to take home. And so, as you see when we're up in the garden with the mountainscape in the back and the sunsets right over top of that, it's dreamy. I love doing garden parties.
Oh my gosh.
I'm an introvert. I like my space. I like being home, but garden parties, I love hosting garden parties.
How do you charge, and what is your limit? You probably have to limit the number of people who come.
So I currently charge $55 a person. I did raise that last year, and I still sell out. I usually cap it at around 20 to 25, just so I can help answer all the questions, whatever. And I sell out every time.
Oh,
So
wow,
I do those
Kristen.
about once a week.
Oh
through
my
the summer.
gosh.
Yeah.
That is so exciting.
Yeah, I
You've
love that.
really blown up.
Yeah.
Wow. That must feel so gratifying. Like this is working.
Yeah.
Even how isolated you are.
Yeah.
People want to make the drive.
And probably only 10% of my clientele are actually from Cardston, my hyper local. The other 90% are from over an hour away. So
Wow.
people are willing to come out. They're willing to invest. They're willing to have those experiences and want them. And when I do my garden parties, I kind of share how we got started, and I welcome people and tell everyone's going through something. Everyone needs a break. Like, just enjoy yourselves while you're here and just soak it in. Just share that space with them. So yeah.
And then I love that. That's beautiful. And then do they become like clients for life? Because you said you're doing some DIY buckets. Like, are those the people who they'll call you if they have a party or a bridal shower or something like that?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely do have a handful of the diehards that like support everything, and I love them. They're amazing. But yeah, it keeps people coming back, and when they see the love and the energy and everything you put into it, like in person, they're more willing to come back.
Yeah.
When they need a wedding or other things like that.
I'm wondering, like, what is their alternative? Is there a grocery store in town that carries flowers? Or is there more of a conventional florist?
There is a florist in town.
Yeah.
It's very old school.
Yeah.
A lot of silk flowers they offer.
Really?
Things like that, like just very old school.
And maybe things from the Ontario auction or Toronto or a Vancouver auction, or not even that far away?
Yeah, not even that far away.
Wow.
Like, it's all like they have no desire for sustainability or local or like stuff like that. So
So you're really showing an alternative.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then, do you do design yourself other than obviously your subscription customers?
Yeah, I do offer weddings because we live really close to Waterton Lakes National Park. So there are a handful of elopement weddings. I love doing the elopement weddings. They're simple and just so intimate and that kind of thing. So I do more of those than the full scale events.
And people come pick up the personals.
Yeah.
That's great. So it sounds like the U-Pick is going to grow, and or the garden parties.
Yeah.
Do you have other goals that you're hoping to expand? I know. I guess the other thing you mentioned was planting more peonies.
Yeah. So we're hoping, hopefully next year, that our new big patch of peonies will be established enough that we can host peony U-Picks there as well.
Oh, so you might do a whole different party.
Yeah, I do a whole separate.
Just around peonies.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
We'll see. Yeah, I'm hoping for next year. I think they'll be established enough that I can. And then I already have expansion plans. Don't tell my son. He's my hole digger. With peonies, I would like to put in, 1,000 more.
Yeah.
Would be my end goal, I think, with our footprint and our available space here. More varieties that I can have more quantities of.
Which you could then sell for
more
weddings.
Bulk, for weddings.
When you started with that patch of sunflower seeds to take to your mom, did you ever think you were going to go this hardcore?
Not at all. Oh my goodness. No, it's been wild to see. It's been I remember the first year when we had the garden parties and I went all in, and my husband, like, bless his heart, he was always so supportive. I don't want to make it sound like he wasn't, but at the end of that year, he was just like, I had no idea. Like, this was amazing. Like, good job.
Right. A lot of partners, he probably didn't get it.
He didn't understand it. Like, what do you mean grow flowers? Like, who's going to come? Like, we live way out here. Like, what are you thinking? And so, just to see, and that, when I started the garden parties, it was the year before COVID. And so during COVID, people wanted out of their houses, like, and this was outside and space, and so it really blew up through that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I'm so happy I got to stop by. I would not have gotten here otherwise. Thanks to being in Banff, which isn't even, it's like still 4 hours.
Yeah.
I invited myself, so thank you for saying yes.
No, this is awesome.
The view is breathtaking. when people come, they probably don't want to leave.
No, no, they don't. I'm like, stay here all night. That's fine.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to mention before we wrap up?
Oh, I don't think so. I just, like.
You are making an impact in your community.
Yeah,
I think that's
so.
important.
And just the education of sustainability, like it's so important. And like we do no-till, we really try to take care of the soil as much as we can, and are constantly learning new ways to do that. And I'm so thankful to be a part of this community and to be surrounded by growers and women who also care so much about sustainability.
Yeah.
And so it's such an amazing, thank you.
Thank you very much. And I will just say that you are a dynamic member of the Alberta flower farming community.
Mm-hmm.
I met you, I think, through Becky Feasby, but a lot of it is through social media, because you are quite a distance away from the Edmonton group and the Calgary group.
Yeah.
There's not very many Southern Alberta folk.
There's not a lot.
Well, that could change.
Hopefully.
Maybe someone could come apprentice here.
Yeah.
But you're such a leader, and I'm grateful for what I've witnessed and how you're really bringing flowers to people who never got a local tulip before, never got a local peony before.
Yeah.
It's mind-blowing for them.
It is, and they're just like, this is a tulip? Like, they have no idea that, Anyways. So
That's wonderful. Okay, Kristen, thank you so much.
Thank you.